Welcome back to Hamilton, Ontario, where previously our heroes established themselves at Fairweather.
Cheers! Hey.
And sent their voluntold designated driver, Mark, on a hunt for the donut monster.
We all kind of like blinked into existence at the same time.
We share customers, we share hops, we share lactose.
It's this very like neighborly relationship.
I just showed up at their door one day while they were digging drains and was like, hey, I'm Brad Clifford, how's it going? We became really good friends.
People come in here, we promote them going down the street, we promote them going to Clifford and Marin and Sean and Ed's too, so.
There's a really cordial relationship among us, and we want to see this city thrive the way we all know it can. In a way, we're kind of doing our little part as a group to help with that.
It was one of the hottest days of summer last year. I was sweating galore. We go to the Merchant Ale House in St. Catharines, and they introduce us to Becky. This beautiful, beautiful presence that just made the day so much brighter. It reminded me of a summer love or something.
This half ounce of beer that I have here is Becky. At her heart, she is a lemonade sour with lactose.
Every time I hear that there's a new Becky, for instance, this blood orange and Italian basil. They had a raspberry mint one time. Oh, do you want to try, Becky?
I will, and I'll be a little more kind to you this time, I promise.
I can't believe I actually let him taste that again.
Yeah, right? You can get that fresh basil vibe to it. Cuts the sourness down on the aftertaste. You got that blood orange tartness as well.
Becky is the love of my beer life.
If I were to refer to Becky as a celebrity, taking a lot of chances and just throwing everything at the wall with reckless abandon, Adam Sandler late in his career, but with more hits.
Yeah, it's a clearly Beyonce-themed beer. When that beer first came out, we were listening to Lemonade a lot, and it's Becky with the good hair. From Lemonade. Or it's Adam Sandler. It's an old, frumpy Adam Sandler.
I'm gonna jump into my second beer here, which is the Good Love. It's a sour IPA. This thing has, there's a lot going on there.
All right.
You got pineapple, you got peach, you have a tartness.
Well, it's made with pineapple, raspberry, lime, and orange oolong tea.
The lime kind of hits you a bit at the end there, which is nice. This thing has like a lot going on for it. It does a lot of things really well in one package. This is a Donald Glover. So would you like to try a sip?
Yes, I would.
I will share, but that means that is my final sip.
Yeah, and it's burned.
This is hard to pin down. It's got pine, it's got like that harsh citrusy, but it's also got the vibrancy of a pineapple. This would be Tom Hardy to me, man. Like, you just can't fully describe him. Like, I don't even know what the guy's voice sounds like.
If you look at it, it has so many elements in it. It's like a Robin Williams. It's like, ooh, heaven, ooh, now I'm over here. Now I'm talking like this, ooh.
Just you take a sip and it just screams at you like, ah! It's so good.
Once you have everything down and you know you can make a good generic recipe, then you can add all the flair in the world to it and it's still gonna come out great.
The doors are wide open to you for experimentation. It's really liberating.
And hopefully people appreciate the sort of wacky flavors that you're bringing to it.
So this is Small Hours. They're sour stout with black currant.
Look at that red.
Yeah, I know.
Little red
so
on top.
cool.
I'm not usually a sour stout fan, but I saw their Instagram where the head on this thing had this beautiful rosy hue, and it smells good. Smell, take a whiff. Take a whiff.
Oh, wow, that is
wanna
not what
try?
I thought it would smell like.
I'll try it. Yeah, that's got a different consistency than a full-bodied red wine. It's tart, maybe a bit drier, that black currant coming through.
Oh, yeah. From smelling it to tasting it, not at all what I thought it was going to taste
It
like.
has actually like a chocolatey smell, but there's barely any chocolate within that. There's black cherry, red fruit in
Well,
there.
the black currant comes out for sure. You
100%.
definitely get that taste in it.
And it's sweet. Like, there's a lot of sweetness to that.
Like pomegranate kind of notes to it too, right?
It's very unique. Yes, unique. And there's something very deep about it. This would be a Jeff Jeff Goldblum. Yes, it's quirky in a way. Quirky.
They've got some delicious beers here.
Yeah, they've got some wonderful beers here.
From the menu, choosing 3 was very difficult.
Yes.
And they're constantly trying to experiment.
They're almost releasing a new beer every week.
The choices here are very untraditional, very unique.
Creative.
Yeah.
Even the whimsical nature of this place. If Fairweather were a celebrity, I would probably say Fairweather would be Zoe Deschanel.
Yeah, no, that's a good match.
The amount of times that we treat our fermenters like a little pot on the stove where you add a little bit, taste a little bit, wait a couple of days, add a little bit more, wait a couple of days. It's not super scalable, but it yields good results and it's fun.
The pick of my paddle is the Long Shadow. I am a sucker for chocolatey, roasty stouts.
Tastes like one you'd have for breakfast and then also post dinner.
Yeah, I can't say I have too many beers for breakfast.
Not too many, just a few.
Yeah, this would be a good morning shower beer.
Yeah, totally.
I'm gonna have to join with you, Drew. I have to pick the Long Shadow. I have a place in my heart for vanilla in stouts because it's what really opened me to stouts. And I really think that this brings even more flavor than just that.
Definitely the Long Shadow is exactly what you want in a really well-balanced stout with a lot of flavors.
Yeah.
And then the polar opposite of that heavy darkness. Obviously, you know my girl Becky. She is the love of my life, in whatever shape she wants to be. So I'm talking raspberry mint, Becky, you could be raspberry mint. If you want to be blood orange and Italian basil, you be blood orange and Italian basil. I don't care, I just love you in whatever shape you are, Becky. You're my girl.
I just hope there's not a Becky in here right now who's terrified.
There he is, donuts! What took so long?
Yum.
Well, Nick, Donut Monster's not right around the corner. It's actually 10 minutes away, on the way to Clifford.
Well, why didn't we wait till we were done here? We're going to Clifford now.
Because you told me it's right around the corner.
Well, corners come in all different shapes and sizes. Life lesson.
Is that the donut I left in the cup holder? The one with the obvious bite out of it? My donut? My blood orange hibiscus donut?
It's good.
Mark, throw on some music, man. This is interesting.
From west to east, the boys progressed to their final destination, Canada's 2019 Brewery of the Year, Clifford Brewing.
My name is Brad Clifford. This is Clifford Brewing here in Hamilton, Ontario. One of the first craft breweries to open in East Hamilton, the industrial sector, which we embrace and we love out here.
Well, brewery number 3.
Brewery number 3.
To Clifford.
To Clifford.
To a day of beers, friends, fun, and adventure.
I was wondering when that was.
And no, let's drink.
Yeah.
This is right up your alley.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This is my kind of.
Did you guys have the same thing going on?
Yeah. This is the Marigold Golden Ale. It's vibrant. There's like peach notes, a lot of like fruitiness to it.
Is that a wheat beer?
Belgian style golden ale.
Oh, okay.
It's got bready characteristics to it.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
It reminds me of a wheat ale, but not as fruity.
Floral too.
Yeah, definitely floral, but easy drinking. Love it.
And I chose the East Hamilton Lager.
East Hamilton's smooth, easy drinking. It's pretty much my go-to beer now. It's technically a German-style Pilsner.
This has got some subtle floral characteristics to it, believe it or not, but it's a German-style Pilsner. So it's kind of got that sharper finish that hits like kind of the top of your mouth and the back of your tongue, but super crushable.
Yeah. As they mentioned, they're the first brewery right in East Hamilton.
Second biggest production as well.
Right.
Next to, of course, Collective Arts.
Yeah. So it's nice to see that community that is craft beer really supporting the local areas that they're a part of.
Well, they're representing Hamilton well.
It's amazing how East Hamilton has really embraced the brewery. Once we got the tap room open, a lot of like cross-section of all kinds of people trying craft beer for the first time, absolutely like loving it, and just basically becoming a regular. Now we see them every week. It's a real hub basically for this area now, the brewery.
What's kind of neat from like the breweries we visited today too, if you take a look at the paddle, they're very traditionally colored beers, and that's what I find Clifford does really well. Like they do the golden ale extremely well. They do, I mean, I'm a huge fan of the porter. They do that extremely well. It's these staple beers that they just do to almost like perfection in a way.
And it's interesting to compare and contrast to where we just came from, Fairweather, where it's not a traditional paddle.
It's a different experience, right?
Yeah.
So you can make a day at it. It's not like you're just going to the same place over and over again.
Yeah.
You know what? The Marigold, this is a Brie Larson. It's marvelous.
It's marvelous.
Marvelous.
Oh, I see, because she's a Marvel character.
Well, no, she's Captain Marvel.
Oh, right.
Or Marvel, depending on, you know.
And when you explain it twice, it makes sense.
I just really like having to explain it 3 times, usually.
You should explain it again, then.
She's Captain Marvel.
Right, Captain Marvel.
Beer number 2.
Beer number 2.
Now, Chris, ours appeared to be very similar in color. Did you get the Devil's Punch Bowl?
Oh, I did, Drew.
The India Session Lager.
This is actually one of their flagship beers that is available in the LCBO.
Devil's Punch Bowl is the famous pit waterfall that's here in the Stony Creek area. We just thought, wow, that's such a fantastic name. It's a lighter lager base that then we dry hop quite heavily with citra hops. It's got that nice, easy drinking, summer, citrusy feel to it.
It doesn't taste like how it looks.
Right.
It's got really bold floral aromas and some citrus going on in there.
I did expect this to taste much lighter than it does. And not that you know, I am enjoying the taste that's coming from it.
I mean, it still goes down pretty easy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it still does.
This is high on the crushability index.
Way up there.
It's good.
Yeah.
I am drinking Clifford's Pinball Wizard. It's an APA. Got a lot of bitterness to it, pineness, like a very Scotch vibe. Yeah, try some.
I'm guessing by the pininess, you'd say it's a crisp pine.
If you like bitter things, this would be your jam.
That's it.
Sweet.
Beer the third.
Beer the third. Now, before you go into your porter, just have a sip of this Artificial Paradise. This is an IPA with a mixture of Citra, Amarillo, and Galaxy hops.
Oh, right off the top, I have a problem with the name.
Why?
It is not an artificial paradise. It is a true paradise.
This is really nice.
I know.
Oh, it's amazing.
It's like one of those IPAs that has, when you have all those hops kind of going on, sometimes you get almost like a Fruit Loops kind of vibe to it.
I can pick that up. This was the one that I was surprised it didn't end up on your paddle, because you typically love a good IPA.
You know what? I wanted to expand my horizons, Nick. Maybe you inspired me the last 2 breweries.
Well, that's very nice.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll share a drink sometime.
Nah, probably not.
I love seeing people like festivals or come in, and the first thing they say is, oh, I don't drink dark beer. It's like, well, just try a little. Then they're like, oh, wow, this is really good, yeah. So, and then they're hooked on it. And there's a lot of devotees to the porter. That's all they drink is the porter.
I am mowing down on the porter, which is another one of the flagships around these
Ooh,
parts.
I also have the porter, so.
This porter is really great, just all-around porter. There's no surprises. It's well balanced. It's definitely a go-to, and I know it's a go-to for you.
The only reason it didn't end up on my paddle is because I have that beer in my fridge all the time.
I need to come over more often then.
It's so good. It is so good.
It is delicious.
It is so well balanced. It's got maltiness, definite chocolate coffee, the usual.
Yeah.
It's robust, but still it's very easy drinking. It's
The aftertaste is almost like I just had a nice, like, sweet cookie and a sip of coffee.
Yes,
Yeah.
it provides so much, like to a sweet tooth, to the coffeeness, light bitterness. Let me just see.
You got kicked out of the theater last
This is
time
a
you did
regular
that.
one for you.
Like, I love this beer. This beer is so nice. The Clifford Porter. Oh my goodness.
It's well balanced. It does a lot of things right. It almost seems like it can do no wrong. I'm gonna call this a Tom Hanks.
Oh, that's a big statement. I would agree. I almost named my son Clifford.
Middle name Porter.
Yeah,
Clifford Porter Mirka.
Yeah.
It's got a nice ring.
I think so.
I would never serve a beer if I wasn't 100% happy with it and want to drink that beer myself. It's all about drinkability and making beers that I think people are going to really enjoy and want to drink quantity of in a responsible manner.
All right, well, I'm moving on to my final beer of the day. This is the Baltic Porter, which is kind of a mutation of the regular porter using lager yeast in the second.
Yeah, to ferment it a little more, to make it a bit more boozy.
Even the nose.
No,
I'm like, whoo, that one's gonna hit me. That one is going to hit me. This is like a Chuck Norris.
I was gonna say that.
I know my mouth
like a roundhouse
is about to get
kick.
roundhouse kicked.
Yeah.
Ready?
But you're honored to be kicked by such a foot.
Yeah, absolutely. That is good.
I think you lost a tooth there.
Imperial stouts have that more dark chocolate bitterness to it. It's still got some bitterness, but it's a little more sweet, I think.
It's a strong beer, but it is full of character and charm. It's crazy the difference too. It doesn't taste like the porter to me. Definitely that booze just comes when roundhouse kicks you right in the mouth.
Roundhouse kicks.
So it shows you how much the ABV can really affect the taste, like, you know, of a beer. Even though it's like, it started as this, and now you can just add something, let it sit for a little longer, it becomes this.
I wanted a big, open, welcoming space. You can come in, you can see all the brewing equipment, come up to the bar, order drinks. We got all kinds of games. You know, a lot of the elements, I guess I take for granted, I think most tap rooms or breweries should have, but I just want it to be a very welcoming, open space.
This was a lovely day.
It was.
It was a lovely day.
Hey, Brad, can I talk to you for a second?
3 plates?
Yeah, sure.
Gentlemen, it's time to pick our favorite beer of Clifford.
The Clifford Porter.
Oh.
Hands
Ooh,
down.
you just jumped right in there.
That porter
Just
lives
speaks to
within
you.
my heart.
Yeah.
And my beer fridge.
And my pick is going to be the Baltic Porter. It's just a nice spin on their regular porter. It's a beer that you can savor, really take some time with. Delish.
Delicious. And speaking of delicious, my pick is the Marigold. My type of beer, my kind of beer. It isn't a staple in my fridge right now, currently, but it will be.
I've lived here for 5 years now. I absolutely love the city, everything about it. Yeah, it's my home.
Hamilton's a really scrappy town for sure, and the brewery is sort of in a way a microcosm of that. We have a lot of like creative people around here doing a lot of cool stuff, but there's also a lot of elbow grease that goes into putting out all these beers.
We want us as like a little community of like-minded businesses to help rise the tide with Hamilton.
This has been wonderful. I mean, something about the community in Hamilton and being here in Hamilton, you know, it's just such a welcoming beer community. There's a lot of beers here. All the beers are unique in flavor, and it's something that the community...
Where's Mark?
So being the geniuses they are, the boys left their phones and their wallets in the car.
Mark!
I'm in the middle of a sentence here.
I kind of hit my capacity for how much time I could spend with them, so I talked to Brad, and he's gonna set them up for the night. He'll make them feel real comfortable, and I'll pick them up in the morning. Hopefully a little more sober and a little more humble.
'Twas the night after a pub crawl, and in the back of the brewery, no ride to go home due to their foolery. Nick, Chris, and Drew lay in their makeshift beds, while visions of beer flights danced in their heads.
This round's on Mark, boys.
With the patrons all gone and their driver out of sight, the boys of the Ale Trail call it a night.
Respect the DD.
Tales from the Ale Trail is created by Mitchell Riley Pictures and is brought to you by AE Media Inc., Web Design and Print Studio, Penn Financial Credit Union, Treschak Enterprises, Joel Hannigan Photography, William Joseph Photography, and Bell 5TV1. Wardrobe provided by High Gravity Supply Company.